Welcome to another Guru Mantra meditation session and Satsang. Hey Belle. Hey Mel. Good morning. Hi Rubes. Hi Nats. Both of the Nats. Nafisa, welcome. Guten Morgen to you all. Welcome, Phoebe. Hi, Lila. Hope you are feeling well today. How is everybody? Good morning. How is everybody feeling today? I'm starting to move through this period of isolation, feeling, like we all are. We move through different phases, waves, and feelings. Doing this. Thanks, T. Hi, Warren. Nice to see your tiny picture again. Hi, Bay and Sunny. Hi, Indu. Oh, turtleneck for the win. All right, noted. Just wear them every day. Hey, Chris. Good morning. Hey, Lana. Hi, Judy. Yeah, I'm interested to know how you're moving through. I think, right now there is this kind of confluence of opinions on what's happening, and it can be very confusing. Hi, Kirsty. Hi, Viv. Hi, Bree. But I also think that there is more data coming out and we can have more awareness, and I sort of wanted to talk a bit about it, but I just wanted to check in on the scale of, calm to anxious, in control, stifled, out of control, how you're feeling with all of the restrictions that seem to be continuing around the world. I know that I personally have recently had moments. I've been so dying to get to India, and I've just had a moment where I've thought, my God, what if I can't go for a really long time? You're anxious about going home to Seattle. And is that because of, I wonder, is it because of what you've created here in Melbourne, or is it to go back to the States and what's happening in the States? Hi, Joanna, welcome. Yeah, the thought of not being able to travel, travel has been a massive, massive part of my life, or perhaps being able to travel, but, in restricted ways, or being, if I want to travel, I would have to get this vaccine, all of these things that are coming out. Buongiorno, Simone. Feeling okay about it, but wondering what it's all going to be like when it goes back to normal. Feeling pretty tired from too much computer screen time. Yeah, hi. Feeling like you're in a waiting room, you haven't been able to work, but that might be changing the next week, and feel a little anxious about how that will be. What is travel going to look like now? You've been a little up and down as you've been concerned for our future. I've been listening to your advice and doing yoga and meditation as much as possible. More the virus in Seattle, sad to leave here, going back to clinical work, many things. Miss the hugs. Yeah, I know, I think it's kind of getting to a point where, the isolation will start to, it already has for lots of people, had a really big impact on mental health and physical health, relationships, work, people's economic situation. I think that's already there, of course, but it's reaching, I think, another stage. And I suppose in this particular lecture, or this satsang, I wanted to discuss a bit Shiva I feel like I've accepted this as life now. Meditation helps so much. Yeah. Acceptance is a powerful space to be in. Feeling okay during the day, but then your sleep patterns are out. Enjoying the slower pace. You think this is the new version of normal. Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested also in that, you know, the way, okay, so this Shiva mantra that we're working with this month, this week I should say, sorry. Hi Kate, good morning. And Shiva means many things. So you're feeling more anxious now with restrictions becoming more relaxed. Yeah, okay. And yeah, I suppose with Shiva comes, there are many kind of definitions, there's many iterations and manifestations of Shiva. So Simone says, that's the thing, all these restrictions about traveling, the vaccine stuff that you've seen is scary. Hope the world will wake up soon. Feeling more accepting of the changes and a bit of gratitude, or just the little things that you can look forward to. Yeah. Mish, Maria, RMIT Design Hub. I always wonder who is behind RMIT Design Hub. Please tell me. Jenny, same. I still want to stay in your bubble for a while. Yeah, so with Shiva comes this multiplicity of its manifestations. In fact, I have an image of Shiva. So here is a picture of Shiva, and there's a lot of symbolism behind what's going on here with the trident, 3 prongs. You might be able to see on his forehead is the marking of Shiva, which is 3 across the forehead. The snakes, the blue color of his skin. He's in the mountains. He's kind of got long, his hair looks pretty good there, but you know, sometimes it's described as being dreadlocked and, you know, kind of a bit wild. And Shiva, in his manifestation in a deity form, is really, it is said to be, he's the first yogi, but also like a rebel as well. And I kind of wanted to bring up this idea of the rebel yogi, because the yoga practitioner, and you're all yoga practitioners, because yoga is meditation and movement and breath and chanting and all of the things. Yoga is all of that. So I just want to kind of get that out the way in case you think, I'm doing meditation, I'm not doing yoga. Yoga is a state of consciousness. And Shiva, in his manifestation that I just showed you, in this kind of deity form, is said to be the first yogi, and he is a rebel. He's kind of living outside the norms of everyday life. He's not a householder with a normal family situation. In fact, his son is Ganesha. He chops off his son's head when he's in a bad mood and has to replace it when his wife gets angry with him with an elephant's head. Definitely not a normal home family situation. But, you know, that's me being a bit glib about it. But he's kind of living on the fringes. He's completely able to witness the play of life and step out of the everyday existence. He's in states of deep meditation in the mountains as well. And I think that out of this idea, it's not that it's about kind of exiting the world. In fact, I want to encourage the exact opposite, with this Shiva consciousness is about seeing the truth. And I think right now it's really difficult for us to know what is the truth, and especially if you're somebody who has a television, and I say that because I don't. I've never bought a TV. I was just thinking about that. Yeah, and every time I've like had my own living situation, since my early 20s, I've never had a television. You know, but if you're somebody who has a TV, which is where most people get their kind of news or mainstream media, there's a whole lot of semantics happening. Like quite a few of you have already said the new normal. Where has this new normal phrase come from? Like, this is coming from the media. I didn't even realize that this is getting about until other people tell me, and where is that coming from? Who keeps saying this is the new normal? Is it? The Shiva consciousness questions and is critical. And it's really easy for us when we're in a state of fear and not in a state of love, not in a state of sitting in the heart center. When we are in fear, it's really easy for us to not have that critical mind. It's scary. The new normal sounds like a new TV series. It's like The Secret Life of Us was this like cool 90s Melbourne TV show when I was a teenager. It's like that. The new normal. Who's in it? It's like a crazy girl. It's like a cool girl. There's like a hot guy. There's a love thing going on. But I think that it's really important. We're doing this Shiva mantra. It's really important that, you know, when we're doing this kind of work, that the yogi is not the person who steps back, who doesn't take action. And I think, you know, I talk a lot about the Bhagavad Gita as well, which is one of the key texts that has really been prominent, especially for yogis in the last few hundred years, even though it's like a few thousand years old. But, but all at a distance, yeah. But the Gita is talking about taking action. It's not that the yogi is somebody who doesn't take action. And even I was talking about this with one of the students. Not taking action is also action. So when you're like stuck and I don't know what to do, or oh, I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch what happens, that in itself is a decision. When you choose not to take action, that is an action. And to be really conscious about your actions is to be in a state of Shiva consciousness, to be looking critically at what information you're getting, where you're getting it from, and what the motivation is behind the information that is being kind of fed to us. This is to kind of step out of the mainstream. This is what the yogi does. I mean, to be a yogi is not to be mainstream, even though, you know, we've got Lululemon and it's turned into $1 billion industry. It isn't about any of that. It isn't about what hot pants you're wearing and whether you're going to the cool studio. Like, yoga is a deep kind of self-discovery. It's deep work that we do. And to be in society really is a true yogi, to be doing this self-work, to be sitting in stillness. All of these, how do you teach this to teenagers? I don't know. The same way. You know, to be a yogi is to be somewhat out of the mundane, out of the everyday. And I think that this practice of mantra this week can really encourage this inner rebel. Question things, you know, question what you're being fed and question your own beliefs and question your anxiety. Have a critical mind. And, you know, I was talking to a friend about it, and I sort of, because I can feel quite powerless with everything that's going on, and I think that a lot of people can. But to hide away from, yes, even critical of the new normal message. Yes, I mean, insidious, it's so subtle, we don't even realize it's so subtle, you know. And to step outside for a moment, to have a greater view, and I mean meditation does that within our own minds, creating some space. And when you have space in the mornings and you're doing this with your yoga practice, with your meditation practice, creating that space allows you to have perspective. And I think I've spoken about it before. It's like you're in traffic and all you can see is the smog and all you can see are the cars. And when you meditate, it's like you're in a hot air balloon. You suddenly are above everything. And you have a moment of spacious awareness where you can see the whole picture. Now, it's not easy to see the whole picture because there is such a confluence of opinions. But it's not about being lazy right now. I think that this, you know, it can all feel too much. I can't do anything. And I was saying this to my friend last night, what can we even do? And he just said, awareness is the first step, you know, just being aware, just knowing what's going on, having a critical mind, talking to other people, and, you know, just kind of thinking critically about what's happening, and to not feel disempowered, because I mean, I know that I can feel really disempowered. What can I even do? It's just me, right? But it isn't. I mean, yes, there's a lot at stake at the moment, and there's, you know, the government are issuing controls, and you know, there's big business at work, and there is the reality of the health situation and the virus. But in the end, you know, it's the people that make all the changes, really, and it's up to us. And I think that Shiva consciousness is one of its manifestations, is to be that inner rebel. And it doesn't mean, okay, you know, you might not be the person who goes out and pickets or those sorts of things, but, you know, perhaps it is at least about kind of having a questioning or critical mind. From Beck, our life begins to end when we remain silent about what truly matters. That's a beautiful quote from Martin Luther King, you're right. Brings up being versus doing, from Anna. Critical thinking is so important right now. So glad you have done this satsang today. It's really needed. And, you know, where do you get your information from? And perhaps, you know, it can be really hard on the internet, but you might have friends who are on all sides of the spectrum, and be talking to people, and don't check out of life right now because it's hard, or because it's easy to, or because, you know, you've started to eat too much and get a little bit fat and not do the work that you're meant to be doing, or because you've been so distracted by going for runs around the town and catching up with all your friends and doing a million yoga classes every day. Yeah, I think that, yes, Joanna, to not be afraid to connect consciously with other people, to find out other people's opinions, you know, talk to healthcare workers. What's really going on, you know? Are the hospitals really overwhelmed right now? Where is this second wave coming from? Is it coming from the media? Like, how do they know that it's going to happen already? You know, I mean, there's so much going on right now. Ask people who you trust. Procrastinating on everything. Don't let this period be the period where you drop into laziness. I've spoken about this a few times. This is tamasic way of being, the heaviness, the heavy way of being. It doesn't mean that you have to be rajasic in rajas and really, you know, so anxious. And this is where I can get a bit as well, moving between those two states of just like, oh, I don't want to know. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just not going to listen. And when people are talking to me, I'm like, oh, don't even tell me. It's too awful to think about. And then there's this other state where I'm like awake in the middle of the night. This happened to me a week ago. Like, oh my God, I'm anxious. What is going to happen to the world? Like, this is insane. I'm living in a dream. And then we want to be in this sattvic state This Shiva consciousness who questions, is critical, is talking to people, who is also meditative, self-reflective, coming back to the self as well. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm going through all of these different ways of experiencing it as well. And the other aspect of Shiva consciousness is the deep stillness, which is the divine masculine. And that divine masculine is formlessness, and it is purity of thought consciousness. And this is what we tap into when we meditate. And the meditation isn't about us checking out of life. So I really want this to be kind of clear. Don't think that sitting and meditating is about checking out. This is space that we all need in order to take action, the action that feels right in your life, whether that is to be really present with your family right now and to hold space for everybody, or whether it's to really take care of yourself, or whether it is to start, you know, taking action and helping people in the world, or being a radical human who is protesting, or, you know, watching videos or making videos or telling the truth, because there's a lot of censorship happening right now. You can't talk about natural therapies online. It will be censored and taken down. You know, so wherever you sit in the scale, let this time of stillness be about you checking in with your dharma, your life's work, your purpose, what you're here for. It's not about, oh, I'm going into lazy mode and I don't have to think about anything. This stillness is revealing. This is the light. It shines a light on what you need to do, on the action you need to be taking within your life. Whether it's a whole world global action, or whether it is, you know, within your own home, or within your own community, or within your own body. It isn't about doing what everybody else is doing. Yogis have never done what everybody else has done. Mel, limiting your news intake to CoronaCast podcast and ABC news app. No TV news. I'm happy to hear that you've been through all the emotions too. Yes, I have. Just being you. And it's okay because it's guiding us inside. Yeah. So use this time wisely. 9:52. Here I go again. Keeping on chatting. So let's drop into Shiva consciousness, the deep stillness that is revealing and allowing us to take the action that we need to take in our lives. Hi, Jordan. Okay, let's close the eyes down and settle a bit. Take a few breaths in the nose, out of the mouth. Deep breaths help us to calm the mind and drop into the body. We'll take one round of and take the palms out in front. We consciously release from the laziness, from the anxiety, from the everyday mindset, the movement between fear, procrastination, all of those limiting habits, the limiting everyday mind. Let it go for these 10 minutes. Elevate your consciousness to connect with that stillness, the formlessness, all that is sublime and divine, universal and eternal. And from this positive state of consciousness. Consecrate, offer this work up, offer this meditation up, this spiritual practice, offer it up to something greater. Release your attachment even from receiving in this practice. Let it go. And wait for a response. And then rest the hands down in any posture or mudra. And together, out aloud, we chant the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Let it grow softer. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah until the mantra is so soft that only you can hear it. Echoing internally inside the mind, the body. Connecting you to the cosmic energy of Shiva. The deep stillness, all that is formless in the universe, all that is eternal. Connect with this deep vibration. Om Namah Shivaya. And if thoughts distract you, come back to the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. And see if you can, in these final few moments, really have complete focus, a fierce presence on this mantra. Your entire consciousness absorbed into Om Namah Shivaya. Gently release the mantra, but keep your focus still and step into the experience of formlessness, Shiva consciousness. And gently bring the hands back to prayer. And we'll seal this meditation with 3 rounds of Om. We bow our head towards that light within. This is the light that guides us forward, the light of deep intuition and knowing that leads the way forward on this path of life, which is one of action in the human incarnation. But that light is only revealed, that light only burns when we find stillness, like the candle flame. To that light that exists within us, that we recognize in all those who joined us this morning. To that we bow and say, Namaste. Namaste to you all. So I hope you can find some time today to feel into your own personal Dharma, deep presence, the focus and the action, because this is the human incarnation, is to be in action in a way that is centered, in a way that is knowing, that is coming from the space of love. Oh, thanks, Mishko. It's like you knew I needed to hear that satsang. I don't know where it comes from. There's just something that needs to be expressed that comes through. Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Sarah. I miss being with you all in human form as well. Now time to get some shit done. Yes, exactly. Go out there and do what you need to do in the world, even if it's take a bath and take care of yourself. If it's, going for a run, or if it's looking after your kids, or if it's looking up some alternative or some, truth bombs that might be hard. If it's doing more meditation, whatever it is, feel into it. But be wild, be free. And that is internal. Freedom is key to being human. Without personal freedom, this isn't a human experience. Whatever that freedom means to you, I hope that you can find it today. I hope you can find it this weekend. I will be taking the weekend off these meditations. I'll still be working a lot. I have Kitty tomorrow who will be running this meditation, and Nat will be doing the shake. and meditate on Sunday. You're welcome, Jordan. I'll be running the Women's Circle for those of you who are joining that on Saturday night. I will hopefully be able to just shoot it from my home here. And make sure you've got a journal and a pen and some space for yourself. And I think we've made it pretty clear we want it to be a sacred space, like a women's circle is. There will be no filming, there will be no phones, and I ask that you arrive on time or before. I'll set it up so we're open at about 6:45 and we can just have chats beforehand. The 10, 20, 30-minute meditations, Soph has been working on those. All of the meditations are complete, but they'll be on the member space probably sometime today. We're just setting up the pages for it. I think they're nearly done. So that should be up today if you want to do a longer meditation. So, I mean, the thing about the women's circle is that I do keep it open if you are wanting to tap more, because actually the work is really open for everyone, in my opinion. I just sometimes talk about female anatomy, but in this practice, we're actually this is a Gemini new moon. If you want to come, if you're a man and want to dive into the divine feminine, I really encourage it. It is just, I had it open to everyone when I first started doing it, and just no men came. Like, I wanted men to come. But men didn't show up, and so I just turned it into a women's circle. But the work that I'll be doing is about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine tomorrow night. And there might be some like pelvic work, which I think that men sometimes, I don't know, maybe they don't, maybe they love pelvic work. I say the word pelvis a lot in these circles. But I don't want to limit people from not coming. In fact, I have a beautiful friend, Johnny, who came once, and he was like, oh no, that's for women. And he is a very fluid individual. But I don't want to limit it, but I call it a women's circle just because men don't really come. No, it won't be online afterwards if you can't make it live. It is a purely live experience, and if you're late, I won't let you in, because it's a very sacred space, and it's about also sharing. So it will be on Zoom, and if you want to share as part of this, you don't have to. You can have your video off, you can have your video on, you can speak when the time comes if you want to, but I do actually want it to be a kind of a space where we share. I don't know how many people are going to come to it, so it's hard to say whether everyone will get a chance to share, because we'll be practicing for about 75 minutes. But the key thing is to bring a journal. On Sunday, we'll be doing some more filming, which means more soulful practices will be up and online. I think there are going to be some nice slow flows from the gang. I'll be doing guiding a series of sun salutes, which are really great to do in the morning if you're just wanting to kind of warm up your body. So I'll be doing the different variations of sun salutes. So you can join Simone, and we'd love to have you. Great. I think the key is that it's a safe space. That's the most important thing when it comes to this divine feminine work, that it has to be a safe space, and it's a very sacred space as well. So on that note, thank you all for being part of this session, the last session with me for Om Namah Shivaya. But my two rebel yogi friends, Kitty and Nat, will be taking this and guiding it over the weekend. Saturday will be fine for an 8-month-old pregnant woman, yes. So we're not going to be doing much jumping around. There'll be gentle breath work, there will be some movement, and there will be some kind of journaling exercises and reflections. So it'll be pretty gentle for the most part, and if there is anything that is contraindicative for pregnancy, I think that she'll know. Like if I do any belly pumping or something like that, just don't do that kind of work, basically, whether it's you, Lozzie, or for somebody else. Have a beautiful weekend. Be wild, get free, be a bit of a yogi rebel, whatever that means to you. And I will see you all on Monday. Yes, come Chris, you're welcome. Have a beautiful weekend.